I have a problem. It's not a big problem, but I've been working in my yellow journal, my Yellow Rose of Texas journal, and I have a lot of the pages completed, and as you can see, she is now a chubby girl. So the problem is that when I planned this journal, I thought about my center pages and my signatures, and I chose yellow paper, and I stitched around the yellow pages. And then I also chose some that had sketchbook paper. So I ended up with these. I've been working in it, so I've got some fun things going on with lace on the edges and different things. But my centerfolds in my 5 signatures, seemed like a good idea at the time to make 5 signatures, have been blank. And I put just a little bit of dotted ink on this page and didn't know where to go from there. And I have... I worked on the page back here, the last of the white pages. Centerfold, where is it? Here it is. I did some watercolor on these pages, put some rosebuds on here, and I filmed doing that, so I'll insert that later in the video. But I still have 4 signature spreads that are pretty much blank. So my task today is to reduce that number a good bit. I thought I'd start with this spread. It's white scrapbook paper. It's the next to the last signature in the book. And so I just thought maybe it would be good not to have my experiment at the front of the book. This is just a little scrap of that antique wallpaper that was my mother-in-law's. It has big red, well, let me show you. It's a scrap of this wallpaper, which has these large yellow roses on it. And this is just, I can't show you that because it's not in the right place. It's just this tiny little thing that's on the corner here that matches up to something on the opposite side. When the person who's hanging the wallpaper is putting it on the wall, they match this to a similar piece on the other side, or the rest of the extension of it. And so I thought that might be pretty to put on the edge of the spread. So that's what I'm going to do. I have my little scrap here, and it's so fragile it broke. I had to tape it back together. But since I'm not using the paper itself, I'm using paint. It doesn't matter if it's damaged right now or not. The reason I'm not just gluing this on is because this book has gotten so chunky that, well, it's that chunky. So, I'm trying to make some of these pages not have anything that adds any bulk. This is going to add a little bit of bulk because I plan to put the gingham, black and white gingham ribbon on both sides of these pages. Maybe not the whole way, maybe the whole way. I haven't decided on that yet. But I'm going to paint this design on this edge, hopefully. This is kind of an experiment, and it's the first time I've ever done this on camera, so bear with me. I may have to edit out a good bit of the thinking parts, which there always are, those thinking parts. But I have my used palette over here. It's got some green out here in the middle. I'm going to use in this yellow and some other muddy colors. There's not much left there, but anyway, that's what I'm going to start with. And I have this set available if I need just basic colors. Okay, here we go. We're going to start with a little bit of green. And I think I'm going to add some brown to it just so it's not too bright. See if I like that color. That's not too bad. I hope I have enough color here to do this, but we'll see. Anyway, I'm going to paint these leaves, and I'll be going back over them with a little bit more of another color to add the depth to it. And I'm trying not to use a whole lot of water because this paper is just sketch paper, and I don't want to damage the back of it too much. I don't want to damage it at all, but it's probably going to be damaged a little bit just because of the water on it. And yes, I could have put watercolor paper in here, but the problem is I didn't plan for this. I just thought, oh yes, pages for the center of the book. Yes, I like that. And so that's what I've got, pages for the center of the book. It'll all work out. It'll be fine. It doesn't have to be perfect. thankfully. And I think that just the color on here will be the main thing. I may have to go over that again to darken it, but I want to let it dry first so that there's not a lot of damage on it. So this leaf is here. And this is the part of the rose that I've forgotten what you call that. I don't think it's the staple. I think that's in the center of flowers, but whatever that deal is there. And then this is also a rosebud here. And it just kind of has a part that comes here and here. And let's see. Like that. Okay, I'm going to do the rest of the green on this side too. And I need to move my setup here. What I did is I put the paper towel around the other pages that I don't want to get paint on. And then I also put this piece of acetate. Okay, what did I do with the piece of acetate? I have it in the wrong place is what I did. To keep the water from going through to the next page, and I didn't have it on there, so that kind of, and it's kind of bumpy on this side too. So this one is the other way. This one is the same as this is, with the rosebuds going up. So I'm going to add the, whatever this is called. I should look that up. And let's see, this one has it mostly here. Maybe a little bit there. And then the leaf. If I'd been braver, I wouldn't have drawn it with the pencil first. And I didn't think of doing this, but I could have done it. I have a set of watercolor pencils. I have this set of watercolor pencils. And if I'd been smart, I would have drawn the design on there with this, if I thought about it. And then it would have just melted in with the rest of it, and there wouldn't be any pencil markings around it. But that's okay. I may go back over it and add just a little bit of brown or black ink around the various parts, just to, I don't know, make it a pen and ink drawing, I guess, with color added, but doing it backwards. Which is, you know, what I do backwards. You know. And I'm not worrying about going over this line is where I want my ribbon to come to. I just wanted to have that reference point there. So, we'll see how this goes. All right. I don't particularly like that big blob there, but anyway. Okay, is that dryish? I don't know if it is or not. I may not go back over that too much. I may just add a few little highlight places and not work it too much. That's my problem with doing watercolors, is I generally overwork it. And they look so much better when you just do it fresh and let it stand. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Sometimes it's just the overall impression of how it looks. So, that's my watercolor advice from somebody who doesn't really know what she's doing. I think watercolors are fun, but they can be difficult to, it's rattling, sorry about that. They can be difficult to get the effect that you want sometimes. Okay, now this one is the rose, the yellow rose. And I'm just going to leave a little bit of that white on there just as highlights. And then over here, a little bit more yellows perhaps on there, I don't know. Obviously, I don't know what I'm doing, so Just having fun with it. So, I'll show you the ribbon on the side with that. It's going to be glued over the edge there. It'll be like that. And I think that's going to look really pretty. I have been struggling with these double page spread in the middle of the 5 signatures I have in this book, and I kind of just finally sat down and thought about, okay, what is flat? It has to be flat because this book is so chunky now. So I've been thinking about that, and I thought, well, I can paint these roses on here. That'll be one thing I can do. So that's what I'm doing. This is dry enough. May not be. That one may be dry enough. I can add just a little bit of that, of a brown color, or a darker green, actually, is what I want. See if I have anything. I like the way it looks. I still want it to read green, but I want it to be grayer. So we'll see how this looks. And I brought out my card. I don't know what I did with it now. I had a card I was going to try these things out on. But it's gone. Oh, here it is. Right in front of me. Snake would bite me and all those things. Okay, that's kind of watery and not as green as I'd like it to be. So let's see what we can do here. Probably would make more sense not to use up the leftovers on the palette, but sometimes that's just how I like to do things, just to not make it a big production, just kind of jump in and see what happens. But it's always fun to play with watercolors, I think. I like watercolors. I don't always get very good results because I overwork it. That's the main thing I do that I regret doing, is overworking them. So I'm going to try not to do that with this. See if I like this color better. That's kind of got something going on there. Still not real happy with that. I'm going to add a little blue. This is just a couple of strokes that I'm trying to get color for. So, all right, here we go. Turn this up this way so I see what it's got going on. Now, they put their dot up there on that side. I don't know that I want that there, but I think I'll bring it from here, just kind of like that, and maybe just there. Try not to regret it. Oh dear, I don't know. See, there I go, overworking, so we'll try to do a better job of it here. Just try not to do too much. I don't know if I like that or not. Oh well, it's just trial and error here. Don't like that. Just make that another color altogether there. Okay, this has got to kind of change a little bit because I don't like the way it looks. Okay, maybe it'll be all right when it dries. Okay, I'm going to be a little more conservative over here and not do too much. Just a little bit, maybe here, around that edge, and there. should have probably just done it and been done with it. You know, just not too much. I think I want to put just a little bit of, do I want to do this? This is kind of scary, but I kind of want a little bit of yellow orange on that. On the roses. What did I do with my card? Here it is. Okay. Switched from that to this. Okay, let's just make that look like that. Big rosebud. Anyway, I kind of like that orange in there, so I'm going to try to do that on here, maybe, hopefully. I don't want it to look just washed out. I also don't want it to be like neon orange either. So there's a happy medium there somewhere. Okay, I'm going to try that. And let's see. Just a bit. Probably looked better before I did that. But we'll see. We'll see. Not going to give up if I ain't yet. Okay, I like that pretty well. I'm not real wild about my leaves. I think they look, especially those, look a little blotchy, but I'm going to leave them alone because I think I get in trouble when I overwork things, so I'm just not going to do that. And if I come back and put some black lines on it, I think that might kind of tone it down in a way. That sounds strange to say that, but what it does is it brings your eye to the line. Okay, well, that is my watercolor flowers on this page. On this spread, I think I'm going to use this ruffle with the yellow rose. It's this fabric. It was my mother's, and I think there's 4 yards of it. I took a little bit off the end to work with, so I have it there. Anyway, I made this tiny ruffle to go on one of these page edges. And the other side, I think what I'm going to do is make a scrappy paper and fabric. I don't know what you call it. It's not a ruffle. It's just a, I'm just going to come down the page with some of these items and make a side thing. I don't know what to call it. And I want some of the roses fabric in there with it so that it ties in better to that side. Like that. Now, I may change my mind on this and just ditch this part, but we don't know yet. Put another piece of this there, and maybe a little bitty piece of that. Kind of ties in with the color on that. Now, do I like this or do I not like this? I don't know. I'm going to stand up and look at it. Okay, well, that's my idea. I'm not sure I'm going to do it. I'm going to turn the camera off and do some thinking. I may put this on this side and the ruffle on this side. I haven't decided. That's where I am right now. I have laid out most of my pieces here. And I think it looks kind of fun, so I think I'm going to go ahead and glue it down. And I'm kind of scared about it because every time I touch it, it shifts. So I think I'm going to use the Fabri-Tac because it grabs quick. And I'm going to try not to sneeze because that would be, as Pam of the Paper Outpost says, disaster pants. Okay. Oh, my glue is already bubbling out there like crazy. I'm going to put that right there and kind of glue that down. And a little bit there and glue that to that. See what I mean? It's already moving on me. Maybe if I turn it sideways slightly, that will help. angle on it. And I wanted this piece of tea bag on top of that plaid, because the plaid, I've used the plaid I think in another place or two, but it's kind of bold for this, so just kind of cover that up a little bit there. And I want it to stay kind of on the edge pretty much, and we'll see how this goes. Oh my goodness. And then I need to glue that to the page. Okay. Now, stringing glue. Okay. All right, I've got that anchored. Is this anchored? No, this is not anchored. Do that. I've got those three going over the same way. I don't really like that. I kind of want the tea bag over the top of that, just for variety. Okay, and I may put this one more like that, maybe. Oh dear. Maybe I'll move to the bottom and kind of stabilize this end of it. That one I'm not sure about, so I'm going to take it off. And probably it would have made sense to glue this down to a strip of paper, or sewn it down to a strip of paper ahead of time, but since I'm trying to keep this very thin, even though stacking up papers is not a thin way to do anything, I decided to do it this way, just to not add any more additional bulk to it. We'll see how it goes. I could always just rip these 2 pages out of here if I hate it. Put something else in. That's the great thing about a junk journal. You always have a way out, even if it means destroying something. Okay, let's see. I want this glued down to the page. And I want that gold over the top. This is a bunch of scraps I had laying around, so it's kind of nice to use those up. Didn't make a big dent in my scraps, but, you know, it's the way it seems to go. And that says wisp right there. I kind of like the word wisp. Whittle the wisp. So I'm going to have it showing if I can. And this here. Now, I'm going to smoosh that up a little bit, even though I'm trying to keep this flat. It just needs a little something to kind of make it look a little more interesting there. Okay, now, I'm going to turn this back where I can look at it straight. Keep the glue off the back of it. Oh, I wasn't keeping the glue off of it. Let's see what I put glue on here. I think it's the threads. Oh, well. Now, I have this piece that I thought about adding, and I think I will put it right there. Like that. And I also have this 5. I thought about putting it here, or maybe up here. And I don't know which I want to do. Now's the time you could say, put it at the top or put it at the bottom. Put it in the middle. Circle Paris there. Okay, I'm going to think about that for a minute. And meanwhile, I'm going to glue this on the edge of this page. And this one, I'm just going to put the glue on the page and then place the ruffle on there. And I'm going to try to put it kind of close to the edge so it sticks out. And hopefully will not add too much bulk. It'll be at the edge. I think what makes it pop open is having a lot of things back at the spine, at the fold. Okay. And this is gathered up more up here at the top, and the rest of it is not so much. So I'm going to put it where it's more or less the same kind of gather. I could have put it the other way, but I didn't. And I think I'm going to just cut this there. Maybe ruffle that up a little bit. And I have all these strings from my original sewing, but I'm going to take that there. And I have a little bit left. I like the frayed look there. And okay. Now, I'm going to stand up again and look at this and see what I think overall. Go from this page. We're coming along with blank pages here. I need to add something to some of these also. So we turn the page and there it is. Well, it's different. I'll say that for it. I still think it needs the 5, perhaps. There. Or there. Or maybe it just needs to be at an angle there. I'm going to glue it down because that way it'll be done. And do I want to put a little lace behind it? Even though that's going to add a little bulk. I don't like that piece of lace. Let's see what this looks like. No. Okay, we'll try this one. Okay, I think I like that. Okay. It's not the prettiest lace. Maybe this. No, I think I like that because, for one thing, it's what's on the cover. But for another, it's got the larger pattern on it, so it kind of shows up better than the delicate lace does. So I'm going to put it down here. And I think I'm going to put it like that and put the 5 like that. That's what I'm going to do. 5 has no meaning. I don't, you know, it's not a 6 and it's not a, whatever number do I not care too much for? Maybe 9. I don't know. I just like the way a 5 looks. My mother always said 5 was her lucky number. She said that because she had 5 people in her family that she grew up in, and then she had 5 in her family with the 3 of us. So this is for Mother. There. Okay, for better or for worse, there it is. So now I'm down to how many pages? I think I still have 3 I need to do. But I think that's going to be it for today on this, unless I keep working on it and decide on something else. We'll see. I've never done one of these ragged things like that before, and it's kind of different to me. I don't know. We'll see if I like it. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed seeing me ramble around in my book and maybe get some ideas of things to do for your center spreads if you're having difficulty like I was. I think, honestly, it would be better to plan ahead and have something pretty there that you wouldn't even have to think about. It's just a pretty scrapbooking page or a pretty digital or something like that that you can not worry about it too much. Anyway, that's all for today. Thanks. See you next time. Bye.